This is the story of a man who had absolutely nothing until he discovered one incredibly powerful daily morning secret. He began waking up at exactly 5 in the morning every single day, and his entire life then transformed completely. What he actually did during those early morning hours will shock you, and it might just be your ultimate answer. In a small working town, there lived a young man named Evans, trapped inside an endless cycle of deep poverty. Evans worked as a night security guard at a massive warehouse, spending every single evening constantly working in the dark. Every single morning at 6, he went home totally exhausted, struggling to survive on a salary that was barely enough. He lived inside a tiny apartment, sleeping on a thin mattress placed directly on the cold, hard wooden bedroom floor. His clothes were incredibly old, and his worn shoes had noticeable holes, but his biggest problem was feeling totally stuck. Every single morning, as he walked home past the sleeping town, he watched other people successfully living their happy lives. He saw families eating breakfast together and clean men going to nice office jobs, wondering if his life would change. He truly wanted to learn new skills, but after working all night, he was simply too tired to do anything. His poor, aging mother lived in the distant countryside, often calling him to ask when his difficult life would improve. She desperately wanted to see him succeed before she passed away, and Evans would always promise that things would change. He was certainly not lazy, but he was working very hard in a dead-end life that was going nowhere. Every day, as he slept until 4 in the afternoon, he felt like he was living his life totally backwards. One freezing cold morning, his phone rang just as he left work, bringing terrifying news that his mother had collapsed. He quickly took the first available bus to her tiny village, taking a 3-hour journey that felt like forever. When he finally arrived at the village clinic, the doctor explained she was simply too exhausted and extremely highly stressed. She needed proper rest and expensive medicine they could never afford, making Evans suddenly realize he must change his path. Holding his hand, she begged him not to completely waste his own future the way she had wasted her life. Looking at her tired and heavily wrinkled hands, something deep inside him finally broke, replacing his sadness with pure anger. He stepped quietly outside the small clinic into the peaceful darkness right before dawn, realizing it was exactly 5 o'clock. Standing in that incredibly quiet dawn, Evans made a firm and final decision that he would not live like this. On the long bus ride back to his town, he sat across from a very well-dressed, older, wealthy businessman. It was only 6 in the morning, and Evans wondered why such a successful man was riding a regular bus. Gathering his remaining courage, Evans politely asked the man why he was traveling so incredibly early on this public transport. The man smiled warmly and explained that he always wakes up at exactly 4:30 every single morning without fail. He used that precious early time to read, think, and carefully plan his entire day before the whole world wakes. When Evans revealed his night shift schedule, the man slowly nodded, understanding exactly why Evans felt so completely stuck forever. The older man leaned forward and shared a powerful secret that had completely changed his own life 30 years ago. The crucial hours between 5 and 7 in the morning are absolute magic for anyone wanting to build true success. That is the perfect time you can build the life you truly want while everyone else is still deeply sleeping. Evans argued that he worked until 6 and desperately needed sleep, but the mentor suggested changing his daily sleep schedule. He could sleep when he got home and wake up later, leaving his precious mornings completely free for his growth. The man handed Evans his personal phone number, challenging him to call only if he was completely serious about changing. The very next day, Evans courageously called the mentor, and they quickly met together at a small, quiet local cafe. The wise mentor pulled out a small notebook and drew a very simple picture of a totally broken, dark house. He explained that Evans was trapped living in this failing house simply because he never worked on the base foundation. By dedicating 2 hours every single morning, you build a foundation that creates 3 extra months of time every year. The strict system was absolutely non-negotiable, requiring Evans to dedicate the first hour to building a highly valuable skill. He could not watch television or scroll his phone. He had to aggressively learn something that would change his money. The entire second hour was firmly dedicated to physical exercise and mental reading, ensuring his body and mind stayed strong. There were 3 strict rules to follow, starting with the unbending command to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. The second rule was to strictly protect his sleeping hours, because nobody can successfully cheat their own necessary bodily rest. The third rule warned that the very first week would feel like absolute hell, but he must push through it. After 21 days, the pain would disappear entirely, and after 90 days, this new habit would become his identity. The mentor confidently gave Evans exactly 3 months to apply this specific challenge and prove he was truly highly serious. The very next morning, his annoying alarm loudly screamed at 5, and his entirely exhausted body violently protested against waking. His weak mind quietly whispered to sleep just 1 more hour, but he clearly remembered his poor sick mother instantly. He threw off the heavy blanket and forcefully stood up, beginning what would truly become a very painful first week. Evans slowly dragged himself fully awake every morning, sitting quietly at a small table while it was still completely dark. He carefully watched free accounting tutorials on his phone, feeling his tired eyes burn while his unfocused mind constantly wandered. At exactly 6, he forcefully made himself walk briskly around his quiet neighborhood for 30 demanding and physically exhausting minutes. This endless, repetitive cycle felt incredibly lonely and deeply exhausting because nobody else truly understood why he was doing this. But something magically shifted around day 20 when his body naturally woke up exactly 2 minutes before his loud alarm. The difficult accounting tutorials finally started making perfect sense, and he rapidly learned complex formulas and essential data analysis skills. His early morning walks beautifully transformed into a peaceful time he genuinely loved, watching the bright sunrise over quiet streets. By the end of his second tough month, Evans had proudly completed 3 highly difficult online courses in advanced accounting. He had noticeably lost weight, his sharp mind felt incredibly clear, and his quiet confidence quickly grew visible to everyone. People at his boring warehouse job constantly asked what magical thing had completely changed his physical appearance and positive attitude. In the highly anticipated 3rd month, Evans smartly created a brilliant spreadsheet to properly organize their massive warehouse inventory system. The amazed supervisor immediately asked how he learned this, and Evans proudly explained he taught himself at 5 every morning. The fantastic news quickly reached the warehouse manager, who enthusiastically offered Evans a massive daytime promotion within the accounting department. 3 short months ago, he was a hopelessly poor night guard, but now he earned double his previous meager salary. He proudly called his mentor to announce his amazing victory, confirming he never missed a single early morning wake-up. The wise mentor reminded him that waking up early was not just a strategy, but his completely new, permanent lifestyle. 1 full year later, Evans had proudly become the primary lead accountant and moved his mother into a nice apartment. He absolutely still woke up at 5 every morning because those magical 2 hours remained his most sacred daily ritual. Whenever curious coworkers asked why he maintained this difficult habit, he explained that true success is a continuous daily practice. This inspiring story provides powerful, undeniable proof that your own current life can drastically change starting tomorrow morning at 5. The real difference between your current reality and your ultimate dreams relies purely on how you spend those silent hours. While the rest of the world is deeply sleeping, your sharp mind remains fresh and completely free from any distractions. Highly successful people naturally understand that strictly winning your early morning fundamentally guarantees you will absolutely win your entire day. Therefore, your very first crucial step tonight is to definitely set your loud alarm clock for exactly 5 o'clock perfectly. Put the phone across your dark room, forcing your tired body to physically stand up and quickly turn it off. Decide right now what valuable new skill you will fiercely build during that incredibly vital first undisturbed morning working hour. Commit to this highly transformative personal challenge for exactly 90 consecutive days without ever making any weak or lazy excuses. If you firmly embrace this morning discipline, your future self will absolutely achieve amazing things you currently consider totally impossible. Please remember to quickly like this motivating video, happily subscribe to our growing channel, and immediately turn on your notifications. We genuinely appreciate you dedicating your highly valuable time today, and we sincerely thank you for watching this entire video.